Good afternoon, everyone. We're back down here in court. It is day 26. We don't have very much time here at all, so we're going to give you a really quick update. Mainly that Eric Parker took the stand first thing this morning, and he's continued on the stand until this first break. And we did not get a lunch break today because we started at 11 o'clock, so things are really tight today. We're trying to get Eric's testimony in, looks like maybe the rest of the day, and it's going really good. Eric is extremely calm up on the stand. He actually bowed his head after he took the stand and prayed briefly before his testimony. And when he was sworn in, he said, if they asked him, did he swear to tell the truth or help God? And so far, the judge has almost ruled in every single favor of the defense today, and giving Eric Parker's attorney and himself every opportunity to bring in different exhibits and things. We got to bring in the exhibit today of Margaret Houston being thrown to the ground. That video was played today to the jurors, and Ammon Bundy being tased. That was played to the jurors, and also about David Bundy's arrest and the snipers up on the hill during that day that David Bundy was taking pictures. All of this stuff was omitted, and the jurors are getting to listen to a big part of the story that has been missing this whole part of the trial. The snipers up on the hill on the 12th, after Eric Parker got to the bridge, that has just been omitted also. We're discussing that at the moment up there as we got a break. So the rest of the afternoon, hopefully a bunch more stuff that we're missing. One of the big things that caught my attention the day that the jurors got to hear was a statement from a Clark County, Nevada official. He told protesters and supporters of the Bundys that came, he says, you better bring funeral expenses and body bags. This got to be played to the jurors today, and that's a big part of a threat from a Clark County, Nevada official. And these are the things that Eric Parker state of mind, and the reason he came out here to support the Bundys, these threats. Also, another thing that got brought up was a supporter from the governor of Nevada, or a governor of Nevada that was supporting the Bundys, and his statement got omitted. And the prosecutors objected to most of these exhibits, but the judge overruled them and allowed us to play. So that's pretty much sums it up really shortly. We will have you another update again unless you had anything to add, but we really don't want to say much right now. This is what we've got. It's very short, but we appreciate you holding on and standing strong for us, and keep praying for us down here. We'll have you another update right after court.
People are asking, what about the First Amendment zones? Was that brought up?
The First Amendment zones was. The pictures of those, that was all brought up this morning, and we're going to elaborate even more into this throughout the day. So, but that definitely got brought up today. That was a big part of this case.
Excellent.
So, well, thanks again for joining us. We got to rush back up to court. We're already late, but we just tried to come down here and give you a short update. Thanks again, and have a good day.
All right, thanks.
Good afternoon. It's another long day in court. This is the end of week 7, day 26 in court, and we've rested until Monday. We still have Eric Parker on the stand, and we'll bring some more information on that in just a moment. But I want to bring Brother David Fleeman over here and talk about a citation that he received today for something he's been doing for almost 7 weeks that I've been even helping him with. He got this citation. It's really windy, so it's probably hard to see it. But he got this citation today for pulling up out front and unloading all the signs and stuff. It's something he's been doing every single day. I've been helping him with it multiple times. Others have been helping him. Come over here, David. They pulled him over this morning after he unloaded this stuff, and he got back around to the parking lot. They had, I know, at least 2 cars there when I showed up, and they had a 3rd car coming and going. And go ahead and let's tell them what happened to you today.
I was dropped everything off like we always do. Went around and I noticed there was a Metro, at the stoplight making a left-hand turn, and I went ahead and made my right-hand turn, and I noticed he was right behind me, so I made sure, watched everything I was doing, you know, had my blinker on, stopped before the line, the whole enchilada, and sure enough, I pulled into the parking lot, and as I was pulling into the parking lot, the free parking lot back there, he threw his lights on, and then when he approached me, he tried to intimidate me. He was telling me put my hands on the steering wheel, and then was trying to saying things to get me to take my hand off the steering wheel, and I take my hand off the steering wheel. He put your hand back on the steering wheel, and he was really, it wasn't nice, put it that way. And
they had you stop for probably 30 or 40 minutes, maybe longer.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really keep track of time, but yeah, they kept me there for a long time, and.
All over this one citation.
Yeah, and so, and I think it's the same police that messed with Joshua. And not only that, as I was walking back up this way, I didn't say anything to the police. I kept my eyes forward, didn't change my body language or anything, no scowl on my face or anything. And the guy, not loud, but out the window I could hear, "Time to go home." Yeah, and then there was another gentleman, I don't remember exactly what was said, but they drove in front of the courthouse and then said something to him too. So not only are they giving us tickets, messing with Joshua,
rolling down their windows, saying things out the windows at us, even if we can't even verbally hear everything they're saying.
Very unprofessional, and they're just trying to entice somebody to do something wrong, say something wrong. He was drilling me like the last time somebody drilled me like that was when I was in the Army, and it was a drill sergeant. Except the drill sergeant wasn't packing guns.
And he didn't give you a citation.
Yeah, I don't mind the citation. It's the.
Can you tell them too what happened on the outside on our side when we got there to the parking lot?
So when we got there this morning, I just noticed that somebody was pulled over. I didn't know at that moment if it was David or who, and after being there about 10 or 15 minutes, I found out it was David. We tried to approach these Metro PD officers, ask them a few questions about what was going on, why was someone were they getting a citation, was they in trouble, and they pretty much told us it was a secure area, kept telling us to back up. They wouldn't even answer our questions or tell us who he was or if he was even okay. And they kind of set up like a formation around there, kind of blocking us off and just watching us with their backs towards where David was, and another officer was taking care of him. This is the intimidation we've been getting the last few days pretty heavily. From just 30 feet over here, we had a live stream going yesterday, and we were told we can't do it, and we've got to move 30 feet down this way to this supposed free speech area, I guess. Because we're not real media, is what they're telling us. But that's a little bit of the update, what we've had today. We'll go into what happened today in court with Eric Parker was on the stand all day long. So when we got in there, I'll let Andrea tell you some of the stuff. There's some pretty interesting stuff this afternoon that happened.
So Eric got up on the stand, and they immediately started going through his Facebook and talking about what he saw that made him go down to Bunkerville on the 12th. We were able to get the video of Margaret Houston being thrown to the ground and Ammon being tased and having the attack dogs sicked on them. He then said that is when he felt an emotional connection to the situation. He grew up in Nevada in a place just like that, and he kept thinking, what if that was my aunt being thrown to the ground? Another one of his comments was the NDAA, here we go again, and they asked him to explain. He said, well, the NDAA is where they say you're a terrorist. They can do whatever they want to you. And I know that stands really strong with him because that's exactly what they're doing to all of these defendants. They have claimed that they're terrorists and they're treating them as such, and they have no rights as soon as they are arrested. It's not innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until proven innocent. Lots of posts about the mainstream media being full of lies and sharing information coming out from the Bundys. He made the decision on the 10th to go down. They also brought in a picture. We didn't get Dave Bundy's arrest video in, but we were able to get a picture of Dave Bundy's of Dave Bundy's face after. I think it was the post where he was talking about his arrest, and that was able to be brought in, as well as a picture of the two snipers. Eric said a sniper and a spotter above the arrest of Dave Bundy. So they were able to get those two pieces of information in. They've been trying to get that in since the very beginning. They also brought in Brian Sandoval's statement about the Bundy Ranch. A statement from the governor made him think that about martial law, and that was another reason that he came down, because he thought, here this town is going through martial law. Then they also brought in a Clark County official statement about Bundy Ranch supporters better have funeral plans and bring body bags. He then says he was not looking for a fight, but he's not going to be bullied into not expressing his First Amendment rights. We were going to protest, and the cows were not so much an issue for him. If he was going to do anything, it was going to protest outside of the box, the First Amendment zone. And the First Amendment goes with me, and it is not a zone. So that's a lot of, the previous to him getting there. Then he talks about some of his posts, by any means. He figured what he meant by he was going to get the cows back by any means. He thought that they were going to go down and camp until they had released the cows, or go down and stand with their signs and their flags until they released the cows. They use these by any means and show of force, and he has to get up and explain himself. That's exactly why he's taking the stand today. Let's see. They talked about when he got to the wash, and how he was up in the parking area and really didn't even know that there was a wash down below, and he was kind of milling around with the people in the parking area until a lady came up yelling and pointing guns at protesters in the wash, and he didn't understand why they were pointing guns at them, or who they, meaning the people pointing guns, even were. He talked about the helicopters and the drones. He talked about another lady that came up with a telescope and showed him that there were snipers up on the mesa. He talked about when he, after the lady said that, they went over to the bridge, and then he could see the wash and everything that was happening below him. He said he had no idea people were even going into the wash, because he was up by the road and they were traveling to the wash at the back of the parking lot. So he actually didn't know that they were going down there. And as soon as he got up to the bridge, he could see back in the background, somebody handed him binoculars, and he could see all the vehicles pointing guns. And he said the first couple vehicles looked like it could be a BLM, but they were all in all of combat gear and looked like they were ready for war. And then he pointed out another vehicle, and he said in this vehicle they had guns all over it, and they were in plain clothes with body armor. And then he points to another vehicle, and this vehicle over here, they were in full camo. So he was completely confused on who they were. Let's see. Then he goes into talking about for what reason he got down, and that got really emotional for him. He talked about getting down. He couldn't pick a target, but he was getting down because the snipers, as soon as they said they had the authority to shoot, he believed the snipers were aimed at him and going to take him out, and that's why he got behind the barrier. And then he was trying to watch for the people down in the wash because he believed they were going to be shot, and he was very concerned for their lives, and he was worried about the situation unfolding. And he said that he stayed down in that position for maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. And after he'd gotten up, they showed the Flynn interview with him again, and he talked about how he was frustrated because Flynn was coming up and trying to get people to talk about how the situation was bad, which he felt the situation wasn't bad, that they were standing up for their rights. And so he made his interview. And then they talk about immediately afterwards, they just packed up and left home. In government cross-examination of him, they brought every sneaky way of changing his words in. And he did a really wonderful job of explaining himself and saying, no, that's not what I meant. When I said show of force, and they said, well, you say show of force and you bring your guns, that means you wanted to show them that you're going to have guns too. And he said, no, show of force is the amount of people. And he's all, well, in this post you say they've got 20 men, armed men, and we need 200 armed men. And he says, yeah, but the show of force is still the amount of people. It has nothing to do with the weapon. Exactly. He talked about the fact that he's been to many protests, and he doesn't go to a protest without a weapon because he doesn't want to be hurt. And the reason that he brought his weapon is because he didn't want to be hurt the way Dave Bundy was hurt or the way Margaret Houston was hurt. And he also talked about the way that the protests, as soon as the people brought their weapons, all of a sudden the things that were happening the previous days weren't happening any longer.
Couple things with Eric's testimony. Eric started out this morning with bowing his head on the witness stand and praying as he took the stand. He was calm. There's no better witness than your own self when you're doing what's right. I haven't seen a more honest witness up here in the whole trial than Eric Parker. All these BLM officers that got up there and did all their stuff and couldn't recall things and was faking all their stuff that they didn't even write in their report in the very first place. Eric said, I can't remember, it's been 3 years ago, but I'm trying to tell the truth. And he did the day he told the truth. Even through harsh cross-examination from the prosecutors, he held a calm complex. He did very well. He broke down a few times on the stand with different questions, but he did very well, and he was very sincere. One thing that really stuck out with me with one of the questions that was asked by his attorney, do you know what martial law means? And he says, yes, it's when the Constitution is put aside for a time. And that's what he felt was happening out there at the Bundy Ranch. He thought we was under martial law and there was no longer the Constitution was being upheld out here. Their First Amendment rights, that was gone. They were stuck into a free speech zone area, fenced off, where they had to go. Where was the Constitution? Their Second Amendment rights are being violated, as we know now, being in court. So the Constitution was set aside. We were under martial law out there. And this is something that Eric Parker felt from the day one. That's why he went there, to protect innocent people's lives, and he wanted to see what was there for the truth. And that came out very well to the jurors, I think, and we had some very attentive juries today. We still have juror number 9 that's, we don't know if she's sleeping half the time or not.
I can see her eyeballs moving, but
Yeah.
she definitely looks slumped over in her chair and kind of rolling around. I don't know if it's because the government's taken so long with this, because I remember in the beginning she wasn't really like that, but it's just gone on and on and on, and she does kind of seem disinterested.
She definitely does. So we're going to be back there again on Monday. One thing that came up today that we was all shocked, and we've not seen any video of this at all from Eric Parker for sure. And the prosecutor got up there and just starting into his opening arguments, he actually said a cuss word. Boldly and loudly.
And aggressively.
And aggressively. It was shocking to all of us. And he says, so on all this prayer phases, I'm not going to say the cuss word, but what the blank were you thinking? That's what he said. And he said this in front of the jurors and everybody. It was unnecessary for him to use that type of language. Eric Parker hasn't used that type of language in any of the videos that's been shown or on the stand. And this is one of the things that he aggressively said today, trying to rile up Eric. But Eric just kept calm and handled the situation very well and answered him all his questions when he was answering him politely with sir, yes sir. Every single question was answered very professionally today. So we're proud to witness this today and see that. So other than that, we'll be back in court again Monday morning.
The judge didn't even bat an eye when...
Yeah, the judge didn't bat an eye with that type of language in the courtroom at all. So Monday morning at 8:30, we will be back in court here. Looks like Eric Parker's still going to be on the stand on Monday. I don't know if we're going to call any other witnesses after him or not. But other than that, we know that Eric's still on the stand. He's being cross-examined by the prosecutors, and I'm sure that the defense team will have a few more questions for him when it's over with, as usual. So we might get into closing arguments on Monday, but we don't know yet. It's going to be, have to wait till Monday to find out this. So going to be the next 3 days are going to be kind of long, but we've got guys to visit in jail. I know you're going to go over and visit the guys and visit your husband, and so we'll be back Monday for sure, if not sooner. So thanks again, everyone, and
Give Eric a round of applause.
yes.
There's a Bible principle on what you were saying there.
Yes.
The Bible says whenever one opens up their mouth, what's in their heart comes out. Whenever they open up their mouths, what's in their heart comes out, and it convicts them. But when some good man like Eric Parker or any of the other good men we have in there being accused of bad things, whenever they open up their mouth, what's good comes out. Like you were saying, if you got your right heart, then you're going to speak good things.
And everyone that's been in Portland so much, there's David Zion Bruger over here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Making sure the Bible stays involved.
So we've got David over here
And
supporting
may
us
God
now.
bless us all here.
So David was a surprise guest today.
Can you tell people to come on Monday?
Come on Monday, everybody. We need boots on the ground. We had another a homeschool group that comes off and on down here today, and four boys were down here. And he said today, he came down here and he stood all day long with his family. We wanted to get him on the live stream, but they must have left early. But he said he's 15 years old. I think his name is Kevin. And he said that he's seen the live stream on the other day, and he said that we said we need boots on the ground, and he's here today supporting the Constitution with the boots on the ground.
And he brought his boots.
And he brought his boots and his pocket Constitution. So
And he's been teaching and learning all day.
he has.
So if the kids can do it,
If the kids can do it, adults can do it. So if Kevin and his family's watching, thanks for coming today.
Yes. The more people we can get down here, you know, it's going to really make a difference for Eric to look out of into the gallery and see people looking back, and that really helps him get through this. It's going to be a hard day on Monday. They're going to have the entire weekend to try to pull up whatever they can on him. So any support we can get would be wonderful.
I think it affects the jury as well. If they
Absolutely.
see families in there, they're gonna put themselves closer to the situation.
It definitely does. We had about 32 people at an average a day in court on our side. And it was a packed courtroom all the way around the day, but we still had more on our side than the other side. We did have a few media there today again.
More than usual.
More than usual. So, and I would say Monday's going to be a packed court again, but if you're anywhere nearby, please come and show your support.
awesome.
Thanks again, and God bless. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.